Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Alright everyone, welcome to this best 3 series coming up between Just a Minute Gaming and I believe Dexterity. It's for the Anzac Cup, as you probably already know. I'm Fletch and I'm going to be your caster today over here on the Anzac stream number 2. And yeah, may as well jump right into it. Not much more to explain. It's the captain's draft again, so for those of you watching the tournament, you know what to expect. For those of you who only watch Race Standard Pro drafting mode, it's a bit different here. You just ban out the 3 heroes from a limited hero pool, and then after the 3 picks, you just go straight through with your 5 picks. And with this limited hero pool, it does make some interesting improv strats. For example, we've seen a few specifically teamfight oriented ones already, such as Magnus into an Enigma getting picked up in the last game, with a Sven on top of that for his cleave stun. So you can still pull strats out of this.
Wind Ranger at your service.
I've actually already cast Just a Minute Gaming, and that was yesterday in a very dominant performance, if I do remember correctly. So and these are both players from both teams from the winners bracket, so we should be in for a pretty high quality game of Dota. Just a Minute Game, picking up Wind Ranger as the initial pick. It seems to be the way where teams either pick their hard support or their mid or position 2s first. Frankly, I believe in picking the supports as your core, just because, well, there's a lot fewer supports to actually work with. You may as well pick up who you actually can. But apparently Dexterity doesn't view it that way, and have decided to go for their mid laner first in the Templar Assassin.
Lion.
With the immediate follow-up of the hard support Lion. I'd be surprised if Just a Minute Gaming didn't end up for the next 2 picks, or the next 1 pick up the Winter Wyvern, and they have. I was going to say the Winter Wyvern or the Skywrath Mage, so good choice and pick there. The Tusk is going to give them that just a little bit of extra initiation into the team fights, and it's going to be the Gyrocopter as the hard farming position 2. Coming out for Dexterity Gaming, and followed up by the quick Dazzle. So it's likely that it's going to be a Line position 4, Dazzle position 5, Templar mid, Gyrocopter position 2. So just one more kind of teamfight initiator looking for Dexterity. In the meantime, Just a Minute Gaming picks up Timbersaw, just as a little bit of extra tank and durability. Not to mention his ability just to chase down escaping heroes is second to none. So from what I could imagine, Just a Minute Gaming is looking for this final support. I'd be surprised if they didn't just go straight for a Skywrath Mage. It looks like with the pickup of the Slark, it's going to be Tusk as the position 4, with a position 5 Winter Wyvern, and that just leaves our Dexterity to make this final pick before we get underway. And yeah, they pick up the Sentinel War Runner, giving them some kind of teamfight initiation just with his Stampede. Taking a quick look at the 2 teams, just taking a look at the 2 teams as are. We've got SJ going to be on your Gyrocopter, and Callaghan going to be on your Lion, with by far the coolest looking Lion mask I've ever seen. We're going to have stand-in Emma going to be playing on your Templar Assassin. You got 180SX going to be playing on your Dazzle. And finally, I am Death, going to be playing on your Center War Runner. Meanwhile, over on the side of Jam, we got Perfect going to be playing on your Slark. We have Stanton going to be playing on the Timbersaw. Firebird going to be playing on your Winter Wyvern. Nyx going to be playing on your Wind Ranger. And Tiger going to be playing on your Tusk. Alright, so we could actually be seeing an engagement at least, up at the top room before the game actually commences, with both teams heading straight up there. But I suspect it will disengage. There's just a few too many stuns on each side for them to really be able to risk going for a rune like this. Now, neither team is actually going to chuck down a ward, so they don't have perfect vision on each other, but they do know each other is there. Emma's pinging out Nyx as well as Fiber, and there are a few pings over there onto SJ. But looks like they're going to commit to this. Both teams are still hanging around. And so yeah, Fiber will pop the Winter's Curse. It's going to be coming around. Perfect Eye Shot block will actually block out 2 of them, bringing SJ down to half. Comes in with a Rocket Barrage. Chakra Shot will actually connect on both of them. This should be SJ going down as the first blood, with the Slark getting the first kill. Try and chase down Callaghan down, and Wind Ranger will get the follow-up kill there. So that's a 2-quick kill going the way of Jam over Dexterity. So hell of a start for them. In the meantime, off to the side, there was the double sentry ward by the looks of it chucked down there by Dexterity, but yeah, just a quick start with the perfect eye shards circling just around there, and absolutely nailing the entrapment, forcing Tusk to come back into a fight that he probably didn't want to be a part of. No, sorry, not Tusk, the Gyrocopter. So not the best start for him, seeing it 0-1, and that will also give Stanton a little bit of breathing room. If nothing, it's just going to give him an extra wave or 2 to actually be able to farm through in the meantime. Because he's going to be in for a hard lane, coming up against SJ Gyrocopter. Not to mention you're going to have Callaghan off to the side at basically all times, coming in looking for the harassments. So I suspect the aggression will come up against Stanton in the next couple of minutes. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it is going to be Wind Ranger coming up against Templar Assassin, as basically pre-predicted. This should be the lane to win for Wind Ranger, in my opinion. She has got that extra bit of damage. Yeah, she's got just that little bit of extra right-click damage. Attack speeds are, yeah, just a little bit faster for her, so should be a tiny bit easier to deny on last hit. 180 SX is going to be sitting around nearby, though, just being a hassle. And you can never overlook the side blades that are going to be coming out from the TA pretty much constantly. Meanwhile, bottom lane, I Am Death is actually initiated on here with the Snowball. We're probably going to see the Ice Shards in just a moment, trapping him in place. Forces him back in towards the trees, probably the worst case scenario for him. And he's getting chased down. He's able to pop the salve, but it gets countered almost immediately. Just one more hit needed, and Tusk cuts his way through the trees and manages to get the right click in there. So, going to be a hard lane for Dexterity down the bottom. With our Centaur coming up against, we got the one support for the Winter Wyvern, who gets a lot of right-click damage if need be. Not to mention a couple of initiating tactics coming out from Tusk with the Ice Shards and Snowball. And perfect with that Leap and Dark Pact.
Got it.
Yeah, I think Timsol is going to have an easier lane. He'll still be getting harassed back pretty constantly by the double range lineup that is coming up, but I believe he can stand up a bit better against, especially with that reactive armor. Plus, he also has an easier method of actually getting the last hits, being able to just run in, get off a Whirling Death if need be, and then just getting back out as soon as he can. Alright, back in the mid lane, Emma has actually picked up the Invis Rune. And so next has to be very careful. It could be actually going down, but does have the Wind Run, so he'll get out of there, no dramas. Bottom lane in the meantime, just Fiber taking maybe a bit too much XP from Perfect. He's going to be looking for the higher levels, almost being completely out-leveled by Death. Almost a whole level up on him by the 3-minute mark. So yeah, while Fiber is going for the denies and a bit of harassment, may have to sit back a little bit more. Just you don't want to take too much away from Perfect here. And 180SX missing the creep pull by the looks of it, so a little bit of misplay there. Meanwhile, mid lane, the Wind Run coming out from Nex will help keep him alive up against this Emma initiation. The Sentry Wards on the cliff about to die, but they were catching everything that was happening, so making it just very hard for Nyx to have a good time in lane. Meanwhile, down the bottom lane, I Am Death getting initiated on here. You can hear the snowball off in the distance. Pulls in 2 of them. He's about to get the Ice Shards off. Doesn't actually get the damage connection, I don't believe, on I Am Death. But I Am Death is coming very low anyway. Perfect does have the leap if need be, which is going to save for Callaghan by the looks of it. Going to pop the Dark Pact, and that should secure the kill. Instead, it's 2 more kills down the bottom lane for Gem Gaming, with one going the way of Perfect, second going the way of the Lion. No, not the Lion, going the way of Tiger, who is Lion, on the Tusk. There we go. And meanwhile, in mid lane, Nex does bottle up that double damage rune, so everything seems to be going nicely, nicely in favor of Gem. Seeing with 2 very dominant last hitters in the form of the Wind Ranger, sitting on 22 for 11, and Slark down bottom on 18 for 4, with the highest on the side of Dexterity actually being the Templar Assassin, who only has the 10, so being pretty firmly out-farmed here in this very early game. But alas, much more Dota to be played. Missing the shackle shot, so Emma catches a lucky break there. And Death sees the TP out, so he's going to be able to call it to SJ up in the top lane, telling him just to, hey, not pop back. Meanwhile, Tiger goes around to the mid lane, gets hexed up by the Lion, and we'll just jump back rather than try and make any kind of play that isn't there out of it. Slark, meanwhile, already picking up the power treads, also has the Orb of Venom, so he'll be running down anyone that anyone he so chooses. And now with the rotations out, I'm Death is in a much better position to find the farm. Meanwhile, and Callaghan getting worked down, has to rely on the shallow grave to keep him alive. But it wouldn't have survived. The Rocket Barrage comes out, taking Tiger down to about half health. The stun also from SJ will be enough. He has a second lot of Rocket Barrage on the way, and Callaghan needs to be careful here. He's sitting on very low health. Now Santa with the early level 6 may actually be able to go for a kill here. Unfortunately, the power shot is missed, cancelling out the doesn't cancel out the salve, so he's able to heal up pretty comfortably. Now SJ tries to turn around here, but I'm not sure if that's what he wants to do with Tiger in the neighborhood. He has a snowball on board, and that's just what he's gonna do. Sen chucks out a Whirling Blade and misses. He's Chakram, sorry, my bad. And yeah, 180 SX tries to run away, will not be able to do so. Walked down by Wind Ranger. And it seems everyone but the bottom laners have actually made their way into this top area. And it's become a 6-0 game in favor of Jam. So just a minute gaming off to a flyer of a start. Already found a 4k gold lead, even though it's only not even the 7-minute mark. So they're off to a good start here. They're just finding more last hits, and they're finding more, they're finding more last hits. Their offlaners are finding a bit more space. Stanton, for example, coming up here, sitting at 16 for 10. And I'm aware that's contrasted with an even, relatively even Centaur on 19 for 2, but Centaur has been down here only farming for the last couple of minutes, whereas Stanton was busy in that teamfight engagement, so you could argue that he is making more use of his time in lane. Perfect by himself is, however, going to have a much harder time up against Death just by his solo. Just Death with that passive return makes it harder for you to actually be able to solo harass, but he won't need to now that Tusk comes into the fight. The Dark Pact will do a lot of damage, and they may not be able to get the last hit there. Oh, and it will go the way of a creep, so you know what, while it may not have gone to a hero, while they may be kind of unhappy with that, they're going to be glad that he just didn't TP out. They did not have the damage to finish that one off. So a bit of an unlucky break there for the Centaur Warrunner. And that does turn into a 7-0 ball game in favour of Jam at this early stage. 188SX results to going back to the lane pool. Missed a couple earlier actually, so glad to see they can actually hit one. The lane getting dragged back onto the tower. Not too sure if Stan wants to be doing what he is doing, because while he may be able to get in range and get a few of that bit of that XP off at the back, there is SJ, 180SX and Gallican just off to the top there. And yeah, with a double stun essentially coming out from Lion, Gyrocopter has actually placed his homing missile, so he will have to get back. Meanwhile, rotation around from Fiber. Oh, Stan getting initiated on hard here. There is the cooldown. He gets hexed up, so that cancels out his chain. And it's unlikely to be able to get out of this. Chucks out the Chakram and the Whirling Death, but it will not be enough. Meanwhile, Fiber comes in off the back of this, trying to run someone down, but the Centaur War Run means that Fiber will not be able to catch up. Next, on the other hand, gets off the shackle onto Dirty SJ and traps him up against the tree, able to get the kill. That's a double kill already going the way of Jam in this initiation. And it's turned into a 3-for-1 trade with Tusk picking up the double kill there. And Wind Ranger getting one off at the back. Turning this into a 10-for-1 ball game. Very heavily in favor of Jam Dota. Clearing the 5,000 gold advantage mark by the 9-minute mark. And about the 3k XP lead. So, but we also can't overlook the farm. There's two heroes on side of Jam with over 50 last hits, and then the highest on side of Dexterity is Death, who's sitting at only 25. So, yeah, no one on side of Dexterity Gaming actually really finding much space to farm. They're all too busy just getting worked down by members of Jam who are farmed and now can afford to be mobile because of it. Jam's lineup is very good at this. They've got the early initiation coming out from just the Tusk Snowball into the Ice Shards, as well as the Wind Ranger Shackle Shot. But what they're aiming to do is just keep Gyrocopter from getting farmed, because a farmed Gyrocopter can bring you back from anything, but he's currently sitting up there. He only has the 18 last hits at the 10-minute mark, so they've done a very good job at keeping SJ down. And so yeah, they're picking out on this middle tower. They want to go for it, while SJ and 180SX is still busy just sitting around up top lane. Chakram will come out. It doesn't connect on Emma, still has the refractions up, so without that bit of harassment and the double damage rune, that means they should be able to go for an initiation here. And Callaghan coming in onto Tiger now, but probably will not be the best idea. Coming up from the back is SJ, but probably won't be enough. And Callaghan going down to the double damage rune there. The initiation from I Am Death. You get Chakra shot to the tree. The Warriors Punch coming out onto Emma, but Templar Assassin turns around onto the Tusk. Cooldown coming out from SJ, and able to get the kill on the Winter Wyvern. And next, trying to get out of there. Well timed means he does dodge the crit shot and gets stunned up. Stanton wants to get in there and do something. There's nothing he can do with that little mana. And finally, the first fight of the game really going in favor of Dexterity. Able to get 3 for the exchange of 1, I believe. I don't think anyone died off the back of that. Yeah, Perfect just stayed down and kept farming. But yeah, a very good engagement there. Something that can't be overlooked is ooh, won't land the stun. Is SJ used the cooldown, landed in there, and then forced Winter Wyvern out here, and which meant he was able to just run him up into his rocket barrage. So easy kills and good plays there from the Gyrocopter to help bring his team a bit more back into it. But in all that time, Perfect does stay down bot farming, picks up the Claymore, and isn't too far away from his amulet, so it is likely that he'll be building into the Shadow Blade. And this middle tower just goes right back to being a target all over again. Meanwhile up top, 180SX is scouted out by Tiger, and SJ there is scouted out by the Quick Observer Ward. 5 needs to be careful now. He has got the homing missile locked on. Trap comes out, will slow up Fiber, but he just starts healing himself up, and a Chakram to push back 180SX, gets him back under half health, and the power shot will force a few of their members back. Chucks out the defensive ice shards, and that will disengage the fight. So there's 4 members of each team in the mid lane, plus the 1v1 that's going on down bot between Death and Perfect, with Perfect coming out the Perfect Victor, with the 41 extra last hits over the Centaur Warrunner being played by Death. Death still yet to find a major item, only having his Tranquil Boots on board. This contrast by Slug, who just finished up the Shadow Blade, is going to wait for it to come out on the Courier, probably before he tries making any play out of this. So he has got that now. And he didn't actually end up falling underneath Ward Ranger, I don't believe, so yeah, they had no idea that he was there, they wouldn't have seen the Courier. And Perfect pops that invis room for the first time and starts coming for I Am Death. Now surely I Am Death must have known something was up, but it doesn't matter, it gets off the hoof stomp and it won't be enough. Slark gets that right click hidden, and there will be the death of the Centaur Warrunner, with a bit of help from the Chakram coming out from Stanton. Mid lane still getting harassed back by Next, but he's a bit less worried about it now. There is the rotation around to the bottom lane, now that the Centaur Warrunner is done and dusted for the next 20 seconds. And I'd be surprised they can't tear their way through this tower. In the meantime, top lane, SJ is actually getting worked down there, trapped in by the ice shards, unable to get away, and Wind Ranger just works him down with those right clicks. And that will be the dead tier 1 down bot. Tier 2 up top probably not going to be much healthier for much longer. Between the sheer damage output from NX as well as Tiger being here to soak up the damage, that should be a dead tier 1 up top. And yeah, Gem Dota really have really found and kept their feet, sitting with nearly about a 9k gold lead at the moment, only 13 minutes in. Do have to be careful though. Here comes the initiation from Death. Death gets off the stomp, and the Templar Assassin crit just tears its way through the Tusk. So yeah, that's a good little turnaround. That's exactly what they needed. Tusk missing the snowball there, wasn't quite quick enough on the draw. And now Gem Dota does have to be careful. There's a smoke egg coming from 180SX as well as Callaghan. And Next trying to help his buddy Fiber out, but he may have to just leave him. Able to get the kill from Callaghan. Turns around and immediately starts bashing his way at 180SX. Gets off the double kill. Starts chasing Emma back into the trees, but we'll have to go for Death because Emma's just going to TP out of there with those refractions. Chakra shot holds him in place. Power shot and Chakra misses, but the chain shot will not. And Emma finds a way out, but not before 4 members of Dexterity do go down. And Stan's still going searching, see if he can find the TA, but sure, he must know that she would have TP'd out by now. So yeah, taking 4 members of Dexterity, and it's about to be a top tower as well. And yeah, Perfect coming up behind Emma. Decides just invis down, go up. Does find 188x, a perfect target. And unable to get off the shallow grave. Sluck getting a pretty easy free kill there. And now the only tier 1 left is the mid, with only 191 health left, just out of denial range, so unlucky for Dexterity in this one. It's just been a good lineup so far. This the early gank potential coming out from both Sluck's, from the Sluck leap as well as the snowball, shackle shots. They've just had it all really. And Emma missing the deny actually. And if anyone was a bit quicker on the draw, she may have been leapt on avoiding that blink, but it does show off the fact that she hasn't got that blink dagger, so Jam Dota know to be a little bit more careful, but they've essentially got free range over this game. 16-minute mark and going 14k gold up. Wind Ranger now bottling up that haste rune, so if there's one thing this Wind Ranger didn't need, it was to be more terrifying with that extra bit of pace. Now Tiger is sitting directly under an observer ward here, so they know that he's sitting there, but it's already at the stage where Dexterity has to completely group up just to be of any contention. It's likely it's going to be a desperate smoke gank, and they're going to be seeing what they can try and find off the back of this. Going to make a rotation down, and if Jam Dota's quick enough on the draw, this might not amount to anything, but this could be the much needed play Dexterity actually needs here. They're going to have to rely on the Centaur Charge, Centaur Stampede to be able to get these kills off. And there's very quick, but the Arctic Curse coming out from Fiber just holds everyone in place for a period of time. The Snowball coming out from Tusk turns into the Warrior's Punch, getting the kill from the Lion. You'll Scepted up is the Central Warrunner, just gets put it back into the Chakram, and the Tusk able to find the early kill there. Meanwhile, Emma off at the back of the fight, there is the blockage just there of the Tusk Ice Shards. They try and chase Emma down. Chakram is able to work through her refractions, and she can't sit there for much longer. She's taking too much damage. They know exactly where she is, but they can't let her sit there for too much longer. She has got the blink, and they kept doing damage, couldn't get out of there, and Timsol will get the kill. So that was, I believe, a 4-for-1, and with excellent reactions from Winter Werven, managed to get the Winter's Curse there. As the initiation came in, would have had barely a second to react to that, but those quick reflexes essentially saved his team, so good on you, Fiber, well played. And that does mean that Jam Dota can just keep pushing up this bottom lane. Meanwhile, Dirty SJ just busy trying to find any kind of farm that he can in the jungle. 17 minutes in, only has the phase and the Helm of the Dominator. Would realistically be hoping for at least halfway to his BKB at this point, but has just been held back so much. Only seeing on the 42 last hits. Yeah, the most last hits on anyone on the side Dexterity is 48 on Centaur Warrunner. And Sluck is nearly doubling that with 91. So, just Dexterity hasn't been given any room this game. There's a little bit of a disengagement at the moment. Everyone just going back about their business. Dexterity needs to go off and try and find some farm, while in the meantime, Jam Dota just busy trying to work out what their next strat's going to be, and looking for these picks so they can turn that into a tower push. Now they have got a smoke gank here, but they have no vision. There is the observer there, so they will be seen as soon as it pops. And they are getting pinged out here. Emma's probably going to try and blink in from behind, but there are 4 men of jam here, so Dexterity has to be careful if they want to make any kind of play. They also have to try and defend their tower somehow. If next one wants to rapid fire it, focus fire it, my bad, that would be a pretty quick death. But yeah, the rocket going to be coming out. And it's kind of a little bit of a cheap defense, but hey, it works. And so Fiber's off to the side here, waiting for some chance for the initiation. I think he's waiting for the Centaur Stampede, which will be coming in just a moment. Especially now with Emma trying to work her way behind the lines. And they do actually find the scout off here of Stanton. He gets the Yorsceptors off in himself, so everyone's able to find him, but the cooldown as well as the Rocket Barrage will tear him a new one. Meanwhile, off the back of the fight, I Am Death will go down to the Wind Ranger. Sluck tears his way through the Lion, And SJ trying to get out of there, but the snowball will hit on him. Gets shallow graved up, but they're just going to chase him down. 180 SX in the meantime, getting taken out by the Wind Ranger. Slark gets killed in the foreground on the Gyrocopter, and that leaves just Standing Emma trying to get her way out of there. Shackle Shot hits her, and the refractions will break. Warrior's Punch coming out, and the Power Shot to the face will get the final kill, leading to yet another team wipe. 28 for 7 is the score. 15k gold lead in favor of Jam Dota, with about a 12k XP lead. It's just been an absolute demonstration coming out of them so far this game. Next has the Maelstrom on board, plus 32k in the bank, so a multitude of items she could be going for. Perfect has that Silver Edge on board, so that's a bit of extra life, not to mention the extra damage coming out of the Invis. And yeah, they've just found their feet a lot better than Dexterity did this game. The top 4 farmers on the board, very comfortably members of Jam. Meanwhile, Perfect getting the kill off in the mid lane. Ruffle. Managing to find Lion, who seemed to be soloing off by himself. 180SX trying to come in here. There is the Gyrocopter rocket there, and he's able to get the Shallow Grave off on himself, so Perfect, if he can get out of this rocket barrage. He actually got screwed over a little bit there by Fiber, who trapped him in the rocket barrage. So Fiber, with a bit of a misplay there, will also be going down himself as a bit of a, I guess, you know, you get what you give. But yeah, 2 down on the side of Jam for the 1 play, picking up the Lion. Not really what they were hoping for just there, but to be fair, Slark shouldn't have gone in quite as deep as he did. So, oh well, Jam Dota still on top. And Wind Ranger actually has the Blink Dagger on board, so if there's one thing she needed, it was more mobility. And I suspect it isn't going to be much longer until we do see Jam grouping up and going back for more tower pushes. You get the feeling that Dexterity feels that way, given that there's four of them within a few thousand units of the mid tower. They do make a rotation around to their jungle, so they're going to try and farm up whatever they can in the meantime. And Perfect's going hunting. Runs straight under the sentry ward. They know exactly where he is. Perfect, get out of there, son. It gets Perfect Sentinel Stomp off right under the sentry ward. Not where you want to be. Throws his life away. Last kill going the way of the Dazzle. He should have, yeah, that's the issue with going in with the, yeah, the issue of going in when you're using a Silver Edge is that since it gives him that extra bit of bonus speed, he doesn't actually notice when he comes under the wards, and it slows him down a little bit. So he didn't actually notice that he slowed down as he went past the sentry, as is the way with his ultimate ability. And that's 180SX, and that should be an instant kill. Tusker with the Warrior's Punch managing to pick up the kill on the Dazzle there, so a little bit more peace of mind coming out for Jam as they try and push into this tower. And regardless of the outcome of this one, there is still going to be another game after this, so plenty of chance for Dexterity to show off their immense skills, as they plan to do now, with the Blink Stomp coming out from the center Warrunner, Cooldown coming out from the edge of the fight by SJ. Gyrocopter manages to get the kill, a double kill picking up Winter Woven and the Timbersaw. Center Warrunner picking up Tusk at the edge of the fight, and Dirty finally gets the kill off. Neutral Creep will actually take the kill on the Lion, and Emma, able just to pop the refractions, will not be going down to that power shot. And there's a 3-for-1 trade going in favor of Dexterity. So yeah, what's happened, you see, is SJ's come on board, because all you really need to do as the Gyrocopter is drop the cooldown, set off a rocket barrage, and then put on the flat cannon. And with this higher level flat cannon, which should be on level 3 or so by now, level 4 actually is focused that. He's basically hitting everyone that gets caught underneath the underneath that cooldown. So he should be tearing his way through this lineup. But that's just something Jam has to keep in mind. They do have to remember that while they do have this lead, it can easily be taken away from them, as it already starts to ping back down from 20k to about 12k.
I'll take that.
So Jam Dota has to start really thinking about their options here. The BKB already up on SJ, since he was very low in his gold before, but after these last couple of successful engagements, finally finds his feet. And they are pinging out next. They want to go after him. They know Stanton's there as well now, that he's shown his face. They still want to go in because they know that Perfect's off in the middle because he's run onto yet another sentry ward. And so next is going to start chipping away this tower, but not before the entirety of Team Dexterity is upon them. Stanton comes out the right way to detect something, gets off the chakram, realistically not in the best position here, pops off the blade mail. And the chakram does come out, it cuts his way through everyone, but Gyrocopter with that homing missile will find the last hit. The counterpings are coming out, but there's not really much anyone can do here. And Perfect doesn't get dusted, he wasn't quite under it. There's no sentry wards in range as well, except that one that just gets placed down by 180SX, but he won't be around much longer to talk about it. The cooldown coming out from Gyrocopter will hit on all of them, as he pops the flat cannon, starts chipping away, takes everyone down quite low, but Slark able to pick up the double kill, claiming the Gyrocopter head as his own. As that's 3 down side of Dexterity, and this should translate into a tier 2 tower up top, and that will diminish the Dexterity outer tier towers. And sorry for, again, those of you watching on the Twitch, in the 360p, it's unfortunately the highest I can actually do for you at the moment. I should go into My Republic, fiber optic broadband provider. They're the proud sponsor of the Anzac Cup, and they're the reason any of us are here, so thank you to them. Anyway, back to the action. So yeah, with no more out tier towers, it's going to become a pretty hardcore turtle off for Dexterity, as they will just be looking to sit behind their towers, wait for the creeps to push in, pick up whatever they can, and they're going to be trying to give as much as they can to this man here, the Gyrocopter. Fiber's just coming into the Roche Pit, just chucking down a little bit of harassment. Another Akira that I haven't really spoken much about is the Templar Assassin, only having the Blink Dagger and the Desolator. And once she starts to come on board a bit more, she will be quite a formidable foe. The Dexterity knows exactly what's happening here. They just know that with the lack of pressure being applied to any lane, the only place they can realistically be now is Roche. So Emma and SJ making their way down there. The pings are coming out on them, so Dexterity should be able to get through this in time, not to mention they have the scouting Stanton off at the back to detect everything. Chucks out a chakram but misses on everything. The cooldown will come out from Gyrocopter, won't hit on anyone because no one's actually in the fight. The Winter's Curse coming out, Emma getting hit up by SJ, and then the counterfight coming in. The Essential Stomp doesn't actually hit on anyone, but immediately makes up for it with its kill against the Tusk, and Gallican will go down to the Slark. 3 left on very low health. Stanton needs to back out a little bit. 180SX will go down to the Timber Chain. Templar Assassin picks up the Wind Ranger and the Slark, but Timsol follows up with a double kill, just walks in there and melts them with his Whirling Death. And so that is a 4-for-5 trade going the way of Jam. So a very even team fight, with Stanton being the only sole survivor by the skin of his teeth. Which is a disgusting phrase, come to think of it. But anyway, realistically, that could have gone a lot worse for Jam. So yeah, it was well played by Stanton at the back of the fight. He was set around behind the entirety of Dexterity on quite low health, and still managed to get back in there, got off a Welling Blade, and killed off 2 more. So good on him for showing that a little bit of initiative, and that will help keep Jam very firmly in the lead of this game. See, with that 1500 gold advantage at the moment. But yeah, Roshan is still there, just on very low health, so there is going to be a bit of a race to see who can get back to him and deal with the damage in time. I'd be surprised if Jam didn't come in to go for round 2 in the near future, but they are going to rely on Slark to try and come back in, and there is a 4-man TP to the bottom tower. Alright, everyone from Gem has made their way down here. The Sonic Trap is still sitting down here, however, so yeah, the entirety of Dexterity will know the second anyone makes a rotation into the pit. And yeah, that next will set it off, so Emma already making her way down into the fight. And Five are going to play a much more obviously defensive role this time around. They do manage to kill it off, and the snatch coming out from Emma will actually take it! Oh, well played, Templar Assassin. Meanwhile, at the back of the fight, Tiger goes for the hit on 180SX. The Winter's Curse will come off, making them all hit each other. 180SX getting taken down by the Dark Pack, but Perfect will still go down to somehow the Dazzle. The Gyrocopter missile still chasing down Tiger. Emma going in very ballsy, which she can afford to do now that she has the Aegis. Gyrocopter back to the fight, killing off the Timbersaw, but not for what Timbersaw could kill off the Centaur Warrunner. All eyes are going to be on Emma right here, as Tiger gets the heal up. Next doesn't land the Shackle Shot against a tree or anything, so forced to blink out of there. Tiger getting chased down by Emma, and Emma will get there with just a simple right click. And so yeah, that fight turns into a 3-for-1, going in favor of Dexterity. So Dexterity are clawing their way back into this, don't get me wrong, sitting at only a 12k gold lead in favor of Jam at the moment, which is, it's been fluctuating, but it is slowly coming more into Dexterity's favor. And SJ has to be careful here, brought down by that power shot to a bit under half health. But finally, first tower of the game falling for Dexterity, able to take out first of Jam's towers. So they're starting to get a bit more of their map control back and a bit more of their confidence as well. They were likely pretty rattled by the start of this game, where it got as bad as 11-for-1, I believe, in favor of Jam. But no, have dragged their way back into it. And there's been a few good plays from Dazzle. With a couple of uses of the Shallow Grave, keeping specifically the Gyrocopter alive, just because he's really dealing the damage. And not to mention that Snatched Aegis picked up by the Templar Assassin in the last fight. So a lot of good plays coming out here at the moment from Team Dexterity, despite what the scoreboard and the gold graph may be telling you. Now next has that Aghanim Scepter, so that should make her ultimate a lot more potent. Just waiting on that next damage item. May pick up a Chrysalis to follow this one up. Fire in the meanwhile does have that mechanism on board. Has the Tranquil, so will likely not be turning that into the Guardian Greaves quite yet. Meanwhile, Slark slowly getting towards that Skadi, sitting about 1.4, 1.5k off having that one on his side. And once he does, the stats will really help him out in surviving in these fights, because he's been melted down a few times. He may be 12-for-4, but all those 4s have been relatively cheaply given away, actually. He's surviving relatively nicely in the fights, but he's trying to go for solo pickoffs and just running under the many sentry wards scattered around the map by Dexterity. So you guys got to be a bit more careful about how he's doing this. And if they go the way that they're signaling, they're going to run straight under a ward right here. They will scout out all of them. So yeah, it's likely that yeah, there is going to be the rotation here. 180SX is drawing where he wants to go in. Now, 180SX finds himself in the bad place at the wrong time. Next is able to take him down quite quickly with the Walrus Punch. SJ, the perfect Winter's Curse will take down the main Gyrocopter. Now, suddenly, I Am Death is in a lot of trouble at the back of the fight. There's the good Yule Scepter up on the line, but it just puts him down straight into the fastest path of the Whirling Death. And that is a very quick 4-for-0 turnaround coming out from Jam Dota. And yet another good Winter's Curse coming out from Fiber. That's a few times he's done that now, where he's managed to turn around an entire team fight of what could be pretty disastrous with nothing but that Winter's Curse. So Fiber's being an excellent Winter Werve in this match. Kudos over to him. And that should swing the gold back. Yeah, it's come back from 10,000 to maybe about 13,000 back now in favor of Jam Dota. And I suspect Slark will have that Skadi. She certainly does. So yeah, his team fight capability just went up about tenfold. The Dazzle Weave does connect on all of them, so they'll do have that reduced armor for the next period of time, but no one's going to be able to come in and make them pay for it quite yet. And Galakin misses the Earth Spike. There is the Hex coming out onto Perfect. They've lifted up Emma. She won't be able to get out with the Blink Dagger just because it is down due to damage. Windranger able to get the kill on Dazzle at the forefront of the fight. The cooldown coming out from Gyrocopter, and Windranger picking up the second kill, but not before Stan will go down to the Centaur Warrunner. SJ himself going down and kicked somehow back out of the fight, I assume with a 4-staff somewhere. Snowball coming out onto SJ, and Perfect wanting this last hit. It will actually go the way of the Winter Werven. And enter Emma and I Am Death will come back into the fight. I believe one of those is a buyback at least. And Emma with another kind of kick 4-staff. Oh, there we go. It's the Agnums. It's the Walrus Punch and Walrus Kick. So that not working all that great out for Tiger in the first one, but he's enjoying it, however. And I guess really that's all that matters. But yeah, I believe there was a couple of buybacks used there, so I'll just take a quick check here. Actually, no. In which case, Centaur Warrunner and TA must have gone out of the fight during that carnage. Sorry that I couldn't quite keep up with all of that. But hey, it was a hell of a fight, and now it looks like Gem's ready to come straight back in. Which makes sense, because without Gyrocopter being up, as well as the TA, there's really not much that can stop them at the moment. With the exception of a Blink Centaur Stomp, which might drive them back a little bit. And they're probably going to want to try and get some chip away at these racks, but likely isn't going to be able to happen now with Garacub's already back up. As they all stand immediately underneath this observer ward, that's exactly where they are, so Dexterity aren't really too afraid at the moment. It's pretty much perfect. It's yeah, currently encircling 3 members of Jam. Now we do have SJ as well as I Am Death sitting up on the hill, waiting to get something in there. The blink in from Tiger is able to kick SJ back out of the base. Perfect use, and then the snowball back in will pick up the kill. What a walrus kick. And Callaghan getting picked up by the Winter's Curse. Able to blink further back into the base, so no trickery will be able to pick him off. So Gyrocopter is down yet again. And we're waiting on another initiation here. Hooking from stand, but it won't come to anything. 180 SX gets a Walrus kicked away, which is realistically not what he wanted. I Am Death comes in with the perfect blink hoof stomp, but it won't be enough for the follow-up. Emma just not doing the damage she wants to do. I Am Death will be about to go down here. Tusk picking up the kill on that one, and Timsel picking up the line not long earlier. And as they start chipping into these racks, range will go down, melee is about to go down, and Soul Survivor TA is not going to be able to put up much of a fight to stop this. And they're probably going to be looking for the initiation in, and they'll get it via the Eel Scepter. And the Walrus keeps kicking back onto the fountain, so Tiger kind of messing a couple of these up to probably much to the delight of Dexterity. He probably doesn't really mind. They're a bit too much of an advantage for him to have to worry. 20k gold lead. And next getting healed up there, but probably not what he wanted. And that's the kick you want, kicking them further away from the base. Good work Tiger. Takes Emma down to half. Cooldown coming out from SJ, and he's trying to do his work, popping the BKB, but perfect. Immune to the rocket barrage. We'll just start chipping away at him. And likely to go down. As soon as he's not stunned, Timsol gets the pick-off kill there. And then Stanton turns around, able to get the Whirling Death off, killing off the Gyrocopter. Slark picking up the Center War Runner, following up with the double kill under the line, and Tusk to finish up with a snowball. And that will be the GG going with first game, going the way of Jam. And finishing up with a very convincing team wipe. And yeah, finishing that game with a plus 25,000 gold lead, so very convincing performance from Jam. It was a bit of a shaky middle ground actually, Dexterity almost making the catch up. But yeah, Jam managed to keep their nerves, and a few good team fights later, we're pushing into the base, and just good on them. Kudos off to Winter Werven, my player of the match to be honest. Able to turn around a fair few team fights with nothing but the Winter's Curse. And so yeah, just because you see the 3 for 4 doesn't mean he didn't contribute his fair share. Kudos to Dexterity Gaming. We'll be seeing you guys in the next game. It's this is the best of 3. That was game 1, going the way of Jam Dota. Just a quick shout out to My Republic for sponsoring the tournament. And this will be the game 1 over for the Anzac Cup. Stick around for game 2 coming up soon. I've been Fletch. You've been great.